Okay, there's 9 o'clock straight up on the 2nd. So nobody can say I'm late today. Good morning. It's April 5th, 2023. 9 o'clock straight up. Yeah, get an audio check over here. Today. Good morning. It's April. Yeah, there we go. Got audio. And what did I have displaying on the screen when you saw my clock? I'm not sure where that was. Oh, that was on downloads, I think, or something like that. Whatever. What's up, Doug? What's up, Dougs? Come over here and look at chat. I have some things on the script today. Pop out chat, maximize, zoom it in a bit. Nick Poverman says 37 consonants, 25 vowels, a question mark, and a comma went to court. They will be sentenced next Friday. Nick Poverman, women should not have kids after 40 because 40 is more than enough. I did not pre-read that one, so you got a genuine laugh out loud on that. Josh Kinder says, hi, everyone. Morning from snowy Canada from Greg M. Brian Lightfoot, I had a job at a glass factory once, but got fired for withholding information from my boss. He said transparency was very important to him at a glass factory. Josh says, hey, Doug, I made a mistake. My new microphone is coming on Sunday. I said in the email on Tuesday it was coming on Saturday. I didn't see that it said Sunday, and I'll gladly pay you Thursday for a hamburger today. I got it, Josh. Thank you. Chris says, hello. Tim Sal says, good morning, everyone. Carl J. Hello, Doug and chat. Bobby Warren says, hey, Doug and Chris. Speedy C, hey Doug and chat. Photo Mix Media says greetings. And on my list to start with Dell laptop encryption. Yesterday, working on this Dell laptop, ran into a couple of complications. Going to tell you a little bit about that, but in the spirit of unscripted, unrehearsed, partially prepared. Let's see, where do I want to start with this? I think I'll start with my photos. And actually a little bit of a squirrel here. The first photo here, it's blurry, but I didn't discover this hot dog stand. I've seen it for years at this location, and I finally went to have lunch there because I was in the area. And they've got these amazing different hot dogs that I had no idea they had. I ordered the suicide dog and brought it home. That was a good thing because the word suicide in this case means it's very, very spicy. Probably the spiciest thing I've ever had in my life. Ate half of it. The other half is in the refrigerator for lunch today. Now, let's go talk about this Dell laptop. BitLocker was one of the problems on this laptop. Another problem, I can't give you really a picture of it. I have to only describe, because what happened is I turned the computer on to resume work on it, preparing it for a client, and the screen didn't come on. But the computer on the keyboard, I could tell that it was on. Could not get an image on the screen. So I force powered it off and restarted it. Still couldn't get anything on the screen. Tried various different tricks, could not get anything showing up on the screen. Well, I already had this laptop configured for unattended remote connection. So I let it start up, what I assumed was starting up, and I went to my Log Me and Rescue, and I was able to connect to it remotely. Full access, no problem. Issued a restart from there, still couldn't get the screen to come up. And there's the keyboard, the hotkey on the keyboard for switching monitors. Eventually, I did get that to respond. Now, I'm not sure if I neglected trying that when I was just on the computer itself. But as I continued fussing with it, one of the things that I had tried to do was to go into, when I was connected remotely to it, I used advanced startup trying to get into BIOS. Now, okay, remember I said this was unscripted, unrehearsed, partially prepared. So now I'm remembering more and more as I'm punching through these keys. The reason why I went down the road of BitLocker was because after I got the screen issue resolved, and I don't know really what was wrong. Why wasn't that working for me in the first place? Why couldn't I get it working? It seemed to me like it was a glitch of the computer. And also, I think, oh, here's another piece. So I told you I'm going to remember more of this. There was a time when I had the monitor open. It was working on the monitor screen, and I just picked the computer up and moved it a few inches, and the screen went blank. So I think there's something funky with that computer. I wanted to do a Macrim Reflect backup, so I got my USB thumb drive. I tried to reboot to that, and I could not reboot for that, and that would be because secured with Dell Safe BIOS. Well, that's not the actual feature that was blocking it, but I could not boot to that thumb drive to do the Macrim Reflect. So I've got these 2 or even 3 issues going on. Trying to boot to the thumb drive, discovering that BitLocker was activated from the manufacturer, which I've seen before on new Dell computers, and the screen issue. This is the photograph of the computer. You can see the keyboard at the bottom, just at the lock screen. When I was trying to get into the BIOS to change, to enable me to be able to boot from the thumb drive. Oh, yes. Okay, here's another piece of the sequence. The first time I was trying to get to BIOS, when I click on troubleshoot, while the BitLocker was still active, it then came up with the screen wanting me to enter the BitLocker code. See, I think, do I have a picture of that? Let's get back here. Yeah, here, where it was wanting me to enter the recovery key in order to get to the troubleshooting mode. So I couldn't even get to the troubleshooting options, which I was going to choose to restart to BIOS without having the BitLocker key. Yeah, so then I went into, oh, I got this one on video. I got to go bring up a video for you. For disabling BitLocker. Yeah, where is it? I thought I had the video already queued up. I guess not. Here, disabling BitLocker. Okay, so here, this is a video that's running right now, and I just press the Windows key and type BitLocker, and then come in here to this option that says turn off BitLocker. And turn off BitLocker button here. And then it says that it is decrypting right there where the recorded mouse is saying it's decrypting. But there's no progress indicator. There's nothing here that really tells you it's active except for the word decrypting. So I go down to the system tray and click on this icon for decrypting, and I can see its progress. So we're at 40 seconds into this video now. Obviously, I didn't look at the time of this video when it started decrypting, and we can see here basically how long it takes. So I'm gonna call it 30 second start time. I'm gonna hit the right arrow key a few times to get to the end of this rather than waiting through all of it. So there's about 1:40. So we're figuring it's somewhere around a minute for it to completely decrypt that drive. This computer has very little software on it. It has a little bit more than the manufacturer. So that's done there, and I think that's all on that video. I'm taking it off screen. Let's see. Here's the decryption of C is complete. Taking that off screen again because I know further along in this video I do expose some client information. Yeah, that's everything I wanted to show you about that video. And then we're going into another video on this same computer. I'll bring that up on screen in a moment when I get it positioned right. And this one I think I'm going to scroll through a bit. So I get the computer started up and then go to Windows, and I click on, I do a shift click on power so I can get to the advanced startup settings, because I still need to get into BIOS. I want to turn off, let's see, let's go down here. I think I go down to troubleshoot and then advanced options. Now I can get here because the drive is not encrypted, and I chose UEFI firmware settings. And then click restart. Yeah, I'm going to press the right arrow key to advance forward through this quicker. Let's see, we saw something flash on screen there. Here we go. Now I have the video pause. It's this enable secure boot here I want to turn off so that I can reboot to the Macro Reflect thumb drive. And that's the only change that I wound up needing to make. They have a lot of other security options. Hang on a moment. They have a lot of other security options in here that I was thinking I might have to disable something else, but all I had to do was the secure boot, and then after that I was able to boot to the thumb drive. Now I've taken that off screen and going to advance through a little bit to see if there's something. Well, yeah, here's something I'll show you. Here's just where I'm doing the click. So click to turn off and then get a confirmation message. Are you sure you want to disable? Yes. Yes on the right side, not on the left side. I almost clicked the word no. And then apply changes. Are you sure you want to apply? Are you sure that you want to apply your changes? Answering yes. And then, oh, here it shows the boot sequence. And here's the Sand Cruiser. That's my USB thumb drive. The first time that I restarted to be able to select a boot device, the SanDisk USB was not even displayed. So as long as I had that safe boot, it wasn't even going to display that device for me. Not, safe boot, secure boot, whatever it was called. See, I'm glancing over at chat once in a while to be sure you're not yelling at me about something that's going wrong. And I am scrolling through this. Here we go. Clicking advanced startup now, or restart now on advanced startup. And I'm not sure where I lose the connection here. Somewhere along here I lose the connection. And now at this point I'm connected using my capture device, not using the remote connection. So here I'm pausing it. And so now the SanDisk Cruiser shows up, and unpaused, and I'll let it go into booting from that. It takes a little longer for it to boot from that. At that point, I had an external backup drive also connected. And no, we don't get anything else. That's the end of it. All the rest of that video is blank. All right, now, what else? Is there anything else to talk about for that experience? I talked about the display issue. Still don't really know what's going on with that, and prepared that I might wind up having more trouble with that computer. And not too concerned about it, because these computers are provided by a third-party resource that my client has. They provide the computers to him even when he doesn't want them. He doesn't even want to use this laptop. So I'm pretty sure it's just going to sit aside. I'm not really going to worry about it. And this guy's going to be closing his business in 6 months. So I'm just not worried about that one. There's actually 2 of these laptops. One of them is going to an employee of his. She will be using it. But that computer hasn't shown any problem symptoms yet. So anyway, the display problem, the BitLocker issue, and turning off the secure boot in order to be able to boot from the USB thumb drive. All right, then I'm going to come over to chat and see what we got going on here. Chris Kira, hellos. Cox, Bobby Warren, still dealing with Cox Cable. Came yesterday afternoon. I had the appointment scheduled for Monday afternoon. He was busy. Yesterday afternoon was Tuesday. Chris says, I'm making him hungry. But, oh, looking at the hot dogs. Hello's, how did BitLocker get on it? Oh, it's from the manufacturer. I've seen that on Dell laptops coming with BitLocker already enabled. In fact, I did a video a couple, 2 or 3 months ago where a computer that I ordered directly from Dell, when I went into the setup screens, I saw a indication that BitLocker was partially enabled, waiting for me to click on something else. Now, I just explained that this computer is actually provided to my client from a third-party vertical market software vendor. They did some setup before they sent it to my client. So they probably completed the BitLocker setup. But this has, because I've seen this a few times now, it makes me on alert when I get a new laptop from Dell or HP, any other major manufacturer, check the BitLocker status. And I want it to be off because it limits your repair options with it on. Now, BitLocker on makes the computer more secure. Yes, it does. But these computers aren't going to hold any data on them. They connect to office computers or vertical market websites in order to do any work, but they also have secure passwords on them. So we're going to go without BitLocker. And also this gives me the ability to make backups and restore from the backups without dealing with that BitLocker key. Good mornings. How did BitLocker get on? So I answered that. I have a used computer coming today. I think it's another 3rd gen. I may try out Linux on it, and in 25, 26 may be using Linux as the main operating system. Greg M, could be the LVDS cable going to the display from the motherboard that usually shows up if you move the display back and forth. Yeah, I think there may be something going on internal to the computer. And I was trying to replicate it, trying to, find some way that I could maybe make a claim for it to return it. But since the client doesn't even care about the computer, I just don't know if it's worth messing with. 906. Chris to Bobby, I think you're the one keeping Cox Guy busy. I bet they just love you. They would be out of business if it weren't for you, Bobby. Sure. Jeff says, good morning. Chris has been dragging today. I did know you were a drag racer, Chris. Thanks for taking a break from your drag racing career to come and check in with us. Bobby to Chris, they had to switch out my cable boxes. Jim, BitLocker on consumer PCs is just asking for trouble. Well, it's a business. Laptop, one of the business grade laptops. I don't know if they do this on the consumer PCs. They might. I don't know. That new Dell BIOS GUI is cool. Yeah, I'd agree that. Yeah, it's under warranty. But again, I don't even know if it is defective. I mean, I don't know. It's a little weak for me to claim that this is a defective computer because it's mostly working. Once I got through that little issue, it didn't reoccur. I don't know. Seldom Ball, will whole disk encryption be required by upcoming computer insurance policies? Yes, I do expect that. Every year when I have to work with some of my clients on filling out their questionnaire for renewing their cybersecurity insurance policy. Now, they don't all get the questionnaire every year, but pretty much every year I come across that with at least one or more of my clients. They get more and more stringent about the requirements. They start out asking, do you have two-factor authentication enabled? But they weren't implying that it was a requirement. And then in one of the recent ones that I did, it was a requirement. And so I've had 2 of my clients where I had to go through all of their employees and enable two-factor authentication for their email accounts. So I am finding that every year those questionnaires get more and more demanding about what they want done in order to ensure. Some of them would, there were occasions when we said, no, we don't have that implemented yet. but we will, or we're planning to. And their insurance agent, okay, we're gonna renew your insurance under the proviso that you do have this accomplished by a certain date. Now, they don't make us provide evidence or proof of that, but if my client ever has to file a claim, they certainly will investigate that. And if they find that we did not have that level of security that required, enabled by the date that they told us we were required to have it, then they could deny the claim. So I'm being very responsible to accomplish what they require by the date that they require it. I don't even want it. I'm not even okay with putting. I'm sorry. Well, so am I.
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut up. Push the button. Now she went away. I don't consider it acceptable to accomplish all of that after the date that they required, because let's suppose I accomplish that, and then after that, we need to file a claim. We have a cybersecurity event. And then they find that we did not enable that by the date that they required. They could say, I don't know that they would, but they could say that we were compromised during that time between the deadline and the date that we accomplished whatever security measure they wanted us to accomplish. And because we didn't meet the deadline, that's how we got compromised, and they could possibly deny the claim. I don't want it coming back on me. Would the insurance company actually deny the claim for something like that? It's possible. It could be a reputation concern for them that they might choose not to deny the claim. Of course, it depends upon how large the claim is as to whether they decide. I think they would have discretion. Some people will say, no, there's no discretion. Anytime somebody's is done wrong, that's the way it has to go. I find that in every law, requirement, regulation, somebody at some level has discretionary capabilities. Maybe not that they could actually utilize it. Depends upon circumstances. Devil's in the details. Okay, so where was I at? That was all responding to this, what would be required by insurance companies. Now, let's see. It looks like I got to scroll up. Get the arrow, and then see where we were at. Okay, then Chris. I only drag race on Saturday nights in small towns. I know the sheriff, and they make sure the roads are closed. For anyone that doesn't know Chris, we are just having fun with that. He's not a drag racer. Doug talks to watches now. They talk to me. Well, yeah, I talk to my watch. Sometimes it gets lonely. I mean, my watch gets lonely, not me. Such a Doug. What's up? What else is on my list? I have more stuff on my list. Laptop device encryption. Oh, Big Beast build crash. I reported some number of days ago that Big Beast crashed, and I blamed it on WebEx. I told you that I had done some WebEx testing for a client, and it was still in the background at the time that Big Beast crashed. And I showed you a video of it where all the screens just lock up, just non-responsive, no error message. I had to force power off Big Beast. Well, there's been more development on that. I, again, was doing some testing with that same client for WebEx. And what was happening is I set up a WebEx testing. Let's see, I'll show you how to do this. By the way, there's no Ken Stout show for me to redirect to. I think I have a redirect set up for Dennis Thompson, DDT 2005. I think I have it set up for his premiere, a Fortnite premiere later today. But anyway, WebEx test meeting. If you Google search for WebEx test meeting, you can go start up a a real WebEx online meeting and you're the host, you can send credentials to somebody else. You do not have to create an account. You have to give your name, you have to give your email address, but you're not actually creating an account at this point. And you can have a two-way test of a WebEx meeting without actually installing it on your computer. And therein lies the rub, because when I was doing that method of testing the meeting with my client, I didn't realize it, but I had the full application for WebEx installed on my computer and it was out of date. So what was happening is when I got into the session with my client, we could start the session, but then shortly afterward, my computer would lock up. Now, did it just lock up in the meeting, or did Big Beast crash? I think Big Beast actually fully crashed, yeah, where I had to power off. And I did that 3 or 4 times. By the second time, I told my client, "Listen, you step aside, let me work on this problem with my computer." So I did some more testing with it, just myself, and Big Beast was locking up. Then I eventually discovered that, I have the app installed. So I uninstalled the app and then reinstalled the app and did a full test meeting by starting a host meeting myself. And it was the current version of the app. And I was able to join with Baby Beast to the session that I was hosting on Big Beast. And so far, there's not been any other lockups since then. All right, come back to chat. Let's see, Sheriff Ken Stout. My internet went out last night. I called Cox and said Bobby Warren recommended you can fix my issue. I don't know how much of that I don't believe. I think maybe he didn't even have internet problem. Yes, last night. Chris, I know Barney Fife. He has a gun with a bullet in his shirt pocket. His shirt pocket really wasn't his trousers pocket? It's so easy to fall out, I would think. What happened to your internet, Ken from Bobby? Good afternoon. It just went out. Poof, like that, it was gone. So I guess it did go out. Dennis says, gracias, senor. So that would be for my auto redirect to Dennis's show. Well, now that I said that, I'm going to go confirm it. 21 viewers right now. I just saw that briefly pop up. Yeah, there it is. Dennis's show at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's a premiere, I guess, of his live stream to TikTok. It says syndicate request streamed to TikTok. That's interesting. All right. Then where are we at here? Gracias, is that a joke, Ken? And Ken said, yes, it did. Ask the homies. I have AT&T. Oh, so Cox, he doesn't have Cox service. He has AT&T service. I should have known that. Ken Stout says, yes, I'm poking fun. Krista Ken, I think my internet really did go out last night during Zoom. I had an unusual message from on my screen from Zoom. I was asleep, not sure what happened. Dennis is doing streaming experiments. Extreme experiments. Extreme streaming experiments. Dennis is also live streaming to a new place called kick.com. He's doing live streams to that. So let's see, what else is on my list? Where are we at? 9:28. I don't have to leave on time because Dennis's show is later today. I've got 3 other things. Well, 2 of them are short. Ken, the pronunciation is Ida, not Ada. Ida, like Idaho. It's not Ada. I've told him that before. Sports trivia. Ken asked Alex, do you know what tiddlywinks is? When he's trying to figure out how much Alex knows about sports. Ken, I have the question for you. Do you know how to spell tiddlywinks? I got some screens prepared for tiddlywinks. I'm not going to go to them until I see a response from Ken. How do you spell tiddlywinks? Don't cheat. Don't look it up. Do you know how to even spell it? YouTube collaborations. It has been suggested some channels that I do YouTube collaborations with, and I have reviewed some of the ones that were submitted, and I have declined a few of them for various reasons. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of awareness of what I'm looking for, because you guys were so willing to help with that. So first I'm going to go to, I'll show the three that I am declining to pursue. One is Bitwit. The reason why I'm declining him is because he's a really large channel, 2.42 million subscribers, has sponsors, and it looks like when I go to view his email address, he looks like he's got staff, because his email inquiries go to bitwitbranding@gmail.com. I mean, I just don't have anything of a collaboration to provide to him. And as I looked through the videos, it just didn't look like my channel is a good fit for him. So I'm passing on that. And I'm only telling you this to give you a little bit more of awareness of what I'm looking for. Paul's Hardware was also suggested, and I'm taking a pass on that one. 1.44 million subscribers. And let's see, when I look through the live shows, there's a lot of charity events here. It's another case of just looks like a huge channel, very possibly, definitely with large sponsors and probably staff. So I just don't feel that's a good, efficient place for me to pursue. And then for Professor Messer, also taking a pass on that one. And the reason is his content is all about, in his live shows, it's all about study groups for people pursuing different credentials in tech. And then his actual videos also on topics that are above my pay grade, just beyond what I'm dealing with. His content and his pursuit is the level of IT personnel that would be in large corporations, is my impression. And that is 716,000 subscribers, and I didn't see any other collaborations going on. Now, a couple that are on my list that I really am attracted to is Tim's Computer Repair. This one, let's see, factory reset, underlying issue with your gaming computer. Is this the right affordable gaming computer? That's in videos. His size is 26.5 thousand subscribers. His videos getting 2-3 times the number of views that mine are getting. So this is more in my league that I could reach out to. This is him, I believe. Here he's celebrating 10,000 subs. He doesn't do a lot of live streams. Last live streams, 4 years. So he's doing mostly edited videos now on specific topics, but he has done live in the past. He's doing unique thumbnails on each video. So he's doing a much better job of thumbnails than I am. So that one I'm attracted to. It seems like a better fit. So this is just giving you an idea of what I consider to be good fits for me. Michael, the Computer Guy, is another one. This guy, 31,000 subscribers, 1.4 million views 3 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago. Those are his popular videos. But if I go to his videos tabs, we see what's happening recently. 7 days, 2 weeks, 5 months, 10 months. He's not putting out a lot of content, but he has no problem with being on camera. And he clearly doesn't have huge sponsors. On live stream, he has done live streams 22 hours ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So not real frequent, but he is still active. Desktop PC troubleshooting, he does live, unedited content, much the same as what I like to do and what Carrie does. So that looks like a good fit. All right, coming back to chat. Ken Stout, Tiddlywinks is his question mark. Tiddlewinks, with or without Google? Without Google. Says there's streaming experiments. AT&T probably telling you that your host was gone. That was about their thing last night, I guess. That was about last night. So Ken was asking with or without Google. I said without. So then he's saying Tiddlewinks. No. Jeff, Chris, no. William became host when we continued. Then Ken Stout says Tiddlywinks. Mm-hmm. Piddly tiddly. Mine must have one outside. Also tiddly tuddly. Should have a screenshot of that message. Paul's Hardware has a staff of 1 and editor. Yeah, but he still has major sponsors. So I just don't, and his huge number of subscribers, I just don't think I have much to offer him. Bitwit, Paul's Hardware are heavy sponsorships. They receive engineering samples of PC hardware, for example. Yeah, I just don't see a reason why they'd be attracted to doing a collaboration with me. No mention of me using the big words like you do, kibosh. I did hear that. I've only watched half of your last night's show. And when you said that about using Doug's language again, when you use the word kibosh, I think I didn't even recognize that I'd ever used that. It's like one of those things that certain movie actors are quoted for saying something that they never actually did say. All right, fine. Tim is in Georgia, 130 miles from me. I may go meet him one day. Tim, well, that would be Tim's Computer Repair. Tim Kelly, I guess was his name. Ken Stout says Tiddlywinks. So let's see. I think I've got, where do I have these panels brought up? Yeah, here we go. So I got curious about that when I heard them talking about Tiddlywinks. So here's Tiddlywinks spelled as one word, well, not EY, just TIDDLY, winks, but that is not the original. The original is displayed on the screen right now. Give you a moment to find it. Look at this one right here. Tiddlywinks. 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 And then if I go to the Wikipedia for that, this will just look fascinating to me. I read through it a little bit. Now here it says Tiddlywinks, spelled with one word, tiddly. This one, Tiddlywinks. Tiddlywinks. I'm saying, I said Tiddledy just to point out to you, that is different. Tiddlywinks. And then this looked fascinating to me, looking at this game board. Click it larger. You see, here's these levers on the perimeter of this octagonal shape. Octagonal, potato, get over it. You put the tiddly, or the wink, I think they call it, they call that a wink. The round thing is called a wink. Get it on the edge there, and then you're going to flip it. You try to flip your own into there, and you try to prevent your opponents from getting theirs in. I thought, man, that'd be fun to get that from Amazon, right? But when you go, and I actually did this. Tiddlywinks, classic game. I thought it'd be fun to have that vintage looking made of wood board, but no, you got all these other hokey things. Is there an online Tiddlywinks? Can you play it as a computer game? Tiddlywinks, Microsoft Store. There is something on the Microsoft Store for Tiddlywinks. How about that? I wonder how that goes. There we see a little cup there. Yeah, looks like they're doing something with an online game. Okay, squirrel. I had that toy back in my youth. Yeah, I remember playing it as a kid. Never had that nice looking wood board. So Tiddlywinks, yeah, I've got everything from my list. Very good. I think with that, we'll shut it down. I didn't have any questions sent to me by email. I didn't have any channel comments to respond to. So that is the content for today. Oh, no show tomorrow. No live Windows training tomorrow. And my Fortnite stream will be later in the day tomorrow because I have an early appointment with a client tomorrow. So I'll be back for Windows Daily on Friday. You can send a question to me by email, put a comment on any of my videos, or ask a question in chat. Brightech09, I have a hard time. I think he's much larger channel. I'll go take a look. If he's doing collabs with other content creators, then that makes him a possibility. But Brightech, and he never goes on camera. Brian, yeah, he's in the UK. But all the content I've seen from him, it doesn't seem like someone who would collaborate. And I have gone on to his Discord. I've found those people to be very unfriendly. Did not enjoy that experience at all. So I don't think that's going to work. Ken Stout's live fish tank. To do a collaboration with that channel? Shut it down, Doug. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Catch you later. Goodbye.